Title: The king who fell in love with a maid long ago, in the age of kings and empires, there was a grand kingdom called Nuristan. Its ruler, King Timur Shah, was known for his brilliance, bravery, and justice. His empire stretched far and wide, and the people adored him deeply. But amidst all the glory, there was an emptiness in his heart, a longing for love. Though he had received many marriage proposals, none ever touched his soul. There were dozens of maids and servants in the royal palace, but the king never looked at any of them with desire. He longed for a love that was pure, untouched by greed or appearances. One day, a new maid arrived at the palace. Her name was Zara, an orphan girl from a small village. Her eyes held innocence, her face reflected simplicity, and her manner carried deep humility. She worked day and night with honesty, and never spoke more than necessary. The king first saw her when she was watering the flowers in the royal garden. Her hair danced in the wind, and the morning sun kissed her cheeks. King Timur stood frozen. His heart skipped a beat. For the first time, he was silenced by a mere glance at someone so simple. Days passed. King Timur found himself drawn to Zara more and more. He began visiting the garden daily, always finding an excuse to see her. Zara would respectfully greet him, speak very little, and return to her work. She could sense the king's interest, but feared what it might mean. Was this a test of her dignity? One day, King Timur softly said, "Zara, you are different. Speaking to you brings peace to my heart." Zara lowered her gaze and replied, "Your Majesty, I am just a humble maid. My only role is to serve, nothing more." Her response struck the king's heart, but he saw it not as arrogance, but as self-respect, and he began to admire her even more. Then, one day, Zara fell seriously ill. She burned with fever. When the other maids informed the court, the king personally rushed to her room. The palace buzzed with gossip, yet the king called his best physician, stayed by her side, and cared for her like no one else ever had. Days passed, and he continued to tend to her. Only in her presence did his heart feel at ease. When Zara recovered, she humbly thanked the king. "Zara, I don't want you near me as a servant, but as a companion." Zara froze. "Your Majesty, that is not possible. Just an orphan maid, and you a king." Timur responded, "Love sees no status or clothing. Zara, I love you." Tears filled Zara's eyes. She couldn't believe the mighty Timur Shah had fallen in love with her. Her heart whispered yes, but fear of the world held her back. Soon, the entire palace was in uproar. The prime minister, the royal court, and noble families all objected to this union. "Your Majesty," they cried, "this goes against your status. What will the people say?" But Timur Shah had made his decision. "I am a servant to my people, and my happiness lies with Zara. If loving her is a crime, then I accept being guilty." Zara tried many times to stop him from making such a bold choice, but the king stood firm. "I don't want you just in my palace. I want you in my heart." Finally, the king made a royal announcement. "I will marry Zara. She will be my queen, no matter what the world says." At first, the people were stunned. But soon, the king's sincerity and Zara's humility won their hearts. The wedding was modest, but full of grace. And the king and Zara promised to always respect one another, no matter what life brought. Years passed. Zara became the queen of Nuristan. She listened to the concerns of women in court, built shelters for orphans, and brought joy to every heart she touched. For the first time, Timur Shah knew the meaning of peace. The maid who once swept floors had become the mother of a nation, and the people realized. True love doesn't need riches or ranks. It only asks for purity of heart. Moral of the story? Love is not bound by status, power, or wealth. It is felt deep in the soul. When pure, it can overcome the biggest walls society builds. All it needs is respect, courage, and sincerity.